Ben. So we did get a little bit into David Butt's story and leading into this big fight. A journeyman, he's been around the game for a long, long time and had a lot of personal upheaval over recent times, which kind of led him to take on this fight for reasons that perhaps had a lot more meaning to him than most. So not only that, travelled a long way, came all the way from Tasmania in uncertain times to put himself into a position to walk away with what I believe is Isca's inaugural welterweight belt.
That thing. That thing that you get around your waist.
So
a new belt.
A new belt, yeah. So very first welterweight MMA belt. That's what I was waiting to say, yeah. So, and up against Shane Triple A Mitchell on this occasion. So, fighter with a great recent history and has been there or thereabouts, breaking into the big time for a couple of years now. And perhaps if it wasn't for COVID, would already find himself in the big leagues. Maybe not. But definitely been there or thereabouts for a very long time. Did this fight go as you thought it would?
Yes. I don't want to say yes because I'm not as McGregor would say, I'm not the Mystic Mac. I'm not, but I did think it would get rear naked choke first round, and it did.
And what did that say about Shane's readiness,
dude? The fight was two parts. It was Shane get pushed against the cage and in a clinch position, calm as a mofo against that cage. He wasn't. He's almost like smiling with calmness, just calm as. There was no
panic.
There was no. He didn't even try and change positions, worry about anything with wrists, grabbing a hold of things, panic. He laid a couple of elbows, easy. Was not at all in any kind of panicked situation. Now, 5 years ago, he lost to. I wrote it down here. But he lost the fight purely because of his ground game. He's lost, the 4 fights that he has lost are probably because of that. Actually, I take it away. The first fight, he got KO'd by Charles August and probably just wasn't ready. And Charles August was an absolute beast. This is a long time ago, I don't know, 11 years or something like that. But yeah, his ground game has improved that much that he was just super, super calm, way in control. Just you could see his headspace was easy. I'll take my time. And then the second part of that fight that I thought was the difference was just being calm against the fence, and then boom, here's my opportunity, big judo throw. But this judo throw into the actual finish was the slickest finish. There was so much that happened in about 4 seconds. So the judo throw was perfect, but as he judo throwed, was on his back and tried to get an arm around, which Mitchie was able to get his leg over and trap the arm at the same time as taking the back, and then flattened him out by sinking the hips real low. So not only was it an opportunity for the choke, but it's a choke with no ability to actually defend yourself. It was evil. Yeah, very fucking awesome. Evil. It was awesome. And it was slick. It happened fast. It was beautiful, beautiful finish. Shane Mitchell, in terms of the middleweight rankings of Australasia, he's apparently, from what I've seen on the internet, ranked 4th. That's bullshit. These guys above him have been fighting bums. And by bums, I'm calling it out. I'm telling you. I mean, the guy who's number 1 fought a guy who's got a record of like 3-6. Last 6 in a row lost. What,
6 in a row.
Is that the guy you want to take to the UFC?
Yeah.
He's getting set up fights with bums.
Yeah.
Guy who's fought, 9 times and won 3, but and hasn't won for 6 years. And you're telling me that the number 1 guy who's above Shane Mitchell is fighting that kind of caliber opponent? Bullshit. Mitchie is a superstar. Right now, the spotlight's been on him for a while, but now it's time for Uncle Dana to
make the call.
I think it's now. It's right on it. The way he finished, he wouldn't have even gone for the judo throw 5 years ago, 4 years ago. But the confidence in ground game to get that finish like he did, just slick, smooth, comfortable, confident, easy. I called it because I knew that would happen, but it happened way more beautifully than I could have expected. Yeah, proud of Shane. I love Shane, and we all love Shane, but we just wanted to see him get that next shot, take that next step.
And from what I understand, it was important to get that ISCA belt, and there was some work that had been going on in the background, because once you got the ISCA belt around your waist, it makes it easy to get the attention of Dana White and others. And because Shane has been there or thereabouts for a very long time now, and it just seems like just a little bit of luck his way will get the opportunity that he so deserves.
Yeah, UFC always, with these fighters, it's all about their record. And it's like, hey, if you've got a loss and it's 3-4 fights ago, or 2 fights ago, and you've won 2 in a row, we want to see more. We want to see a couple more wins before we put you on there. Unless it's a late notice and you get a big chance and whatever, we need someone, you got a better chance then. But for somebody who they want to have a future with, you've got to have a good record of wins.
What's Shane's record?
Well, this is the great talking point. So he's got 4 losses, 13 wins. Going into this one, he was 12-4. Yep. But it's very interesting to look at the 4 losses with Shane. As we spoke about before with Ike, his style of coaching and what he'll put his fighters into. Yeah. Some coaches are much, much more conservative and never would put Shane into some of the situations that he's been through.
Yeah. So they're trying to be strategic and keep the record nice and clean rather than give them experience.
Ike's an animal. He's like, we're going to throw you in, son.
Sink or swim.
Yeah. Dude, his second fight, I remember it, is against a guy called Charles August. Do you remember Charles August?
Only from you mentioning him a minute ago.
Charles August, if you look him up, he was like a South Australian kind of Kiwi dude, superstar striker, hands off, stone, knocked everybody out. You do not want to take a leg kick off him either. You don't go to decision with Charles August. Beast of a dude, not a ground game guy, not an MMA guy. Fought a couple of MMA fights, just because I'll finish you with my hands, and he did. But he was actually Shane. He was like a superstar, like the top of the top, and Ike put Shane Mitchell against
a young
him
Shane Mitchell,
as a young little baby face Shane in his second fight ever. 1 win and 1 and none, and Shane, fought a very respectable fight against this beast of a man, Charles August. Lost. And got his first loss, but you could very much argue that, dude, he was well outmatched in many, many ways in terms of experience and so forth. Crazy fight to take. Most coaches wouldn't do it, but Ike's not your usual coach. Yeah, he's a goer, and he's you throw him in there. Throw him in there, and it is what it is. A lot of these fighters that Shane would be competing against to get into the UFC are having padded records, such as one of the ones I didn't mention.
Some of the more highly ranked contenders.
Well, there's only 3 guys who are more highly ranked. 2 of them are New Zealanders, so they're not Aussie. So let's get rid of them. Yeah. There's only one other one, and this one other one has beaten Mitchie before in 2015. 6 years ago. His name's Kit Campbell. Kit Campbell. If Shane Mitchell fought Kit Campbell now, he would absolutely dominate him. Kit Campbell only won to Shane Mitchell because of maybe he hadn't got such a great ground game in 2015. That's not the same guy at all. And by the way, Kit Campbell, yes, he beat Mitchell on the ground, but only because Mitchell made some really dumb ground game errors, things that just are mental and not physical. So you made a really dumb, bad decision. Had your coach told you some basics of this, you definitely would never, ever do that. Everyone knows that. He made some really dumb mistakes, and therefore he lost. He's not at all physically the same person, but most importantly, mentally.
Mentally,
he's not that guy.
Yeah.
He would smash Kit Campbell easily. and that's one of his losses. Kit Campbell had a career, and he's above, apparently, Shane, from what I can see in the rankings right now.
So that's the match to make.
Yeah, it's just like crazy.
This time.
So, of course, I'm biased. Shane is the number one middleweight in Australia.
Well, he's got the belt around his waist right now from Iska, so hopefully that's the stepping stone that he needs to make that final leap into the big leagues. And not only that, but a champion bloke, a fantastic guy, and I can honestly say that amongst the community of fighters that took place in the event on the weekend, all but very few exception, are very respectful, lovely, kind.
True.
People that were there for all the right reasons and made the event better for their presence. So, Rich, thanks so much for coming along and,
thanks for having me,
sharing
boys. Absolute pleasure.
All of your knowledge. We'll definitely have you back. There's so much more to talk about. I mean, we want to find out more about Indian toe wrestling and so much more. So
we'll get naked next time.
you bring the lotion.
Thanks, boys. Pleasure.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, where's the camera? There you are. There you are, watching there at home. Ladies and gentlemen.
They had like the back of my head this whole time.
Just the whole time.
It's the better side, I tell you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us again for another episode of the Daily Combat Podcast. It's been absolutely wonderful having you with us as we went through the DFC card from last Sunday night, and of course joined by DFC commentator and MMA expert Rich Warner. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll look forward to bringing you a whole lot more very, very soon.